Hello, everyone. Welcome back to End Times Ambience. If you want to skip this brief director's introduction and get right to the show, check the comments below for the timestamp to skip. A few housekeeping items. If you're not aware, End Times Ambience was recently demonetized by YouTube. And in an effort to keep the signal going, we have moved the primary source of new content over to Patreon. So for as little as $5 a month, you can get access to all of our new content. That includes stories based on Half-Life, Return of the Living Dead, the Crippen virus from I Am Legend, Code Veronica from Resident Evil, John Carpenter's The Fog, The Evil Dead Apocalypse, World War Z, and a recently released two-parter on The Shadow over Innsmouth. Today's video is one that I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and this is a remastered version of the very first video I did on this channel on a zombie apocalypse. This Saturday will actually be the 1-year anniversary since that was released, so I thought it was a really good time to go ahead and do this remaster. That video is still the most popular broadcast I've done on this channel. It's almost up to 350,000 views, and it's always at the top of the rankings for views throughout the week. So I really loved the original, and since it was so popular, I didn't want to do too much tweaking to it, but the original did have problems. The music was way too loud. The voices were way too low and they spoke too fast. Some of the sound effects were really cheesy. The rain was kind of strange to have going the whole time, and the backgrounds were pretty static. So this new remastered keeps most of the dialogue the same. It's cleaned up a little bit, but I did add several new segments, including several call-in radio segments to help progress the story, several emergency alert system recordings, and also tweak with the background so that it's actually moving as the story moved. With all that being said, I want to thank everyone for their love and support for this channel over the last year, and here's to several more years of apocalyptic content. End Times Ambience presents Viral Aggression Syndrome, the Zombie Apocalypse. Enjoy the show.
Good evening. I'm so glad you could join me. Pull the door to, draw the curtain, and do check the lock if it makes you feel any better. Tonight's entertainment concerns the end of the world, and a particular flavor of ending where the dead decline to stay that way. A grubby business, but then so is most company these days. Now, some of you have sat with me before. This little tale was the very first story ever told on this channel. A humble thing, rough at the edges, as first attempts tend to be. We have gone back and dug it up, dusted it off, given it new voices, new chapters, and a far more thorough burial than it got the first time around. Consider this the remastered edition. The same corpse, you understand, merely better dressed. A word before we begin for the nervous and the litigious alike. Every voice you are about to hear was manufactured, synthesized, coaxed out of a machine that has never once drawn breath. None of these people are real. None of them ever were. The story, however, was written and arranged by a living human being. The machines merely did the screaming. Any resemblance to persons living or dead is, of course, purely coincidental, especially the dead. They can be so terribly sensitive about these things. And should you happen to recognize your own town on the map tonight, well, I would keep that to myself if I were you. Do not be alarmed. The dead have not yet risen, not tonight, not on your particular street, probably. So, lock the door you already checked, turn the lamp down low, and whatever you do, keep the radio on. You'll understand why soon enough. Enjoy the show.
Good morning. This is your national morning update from Central News Now. Let's start with weather across the country. Sunny and dry for most of the West Coast, highs in the low 80s in San Diego and Los Angeles. Cooler temperatures pushing into the Midwest today with scattered storms expected across parts of Missouri and Illinois. East Coast commuters in D.C. and Baltimore should expect heavy delays following flash flooding overnight. Stay off the roads if you can. Now over to Daniel Hart with updates on this morning's top headlines. Daniel?
Thanks, Megan. We are following reports out of Minneapolis this morning where a police officer was attacked during a routine welfare check just after 4 a.m. local time. According to a department spokesperson, the officer responded to a call regarding a man behaving erratically in a downtown alleyway. The suspect lunged at the officer and bit him multiple times before backup arrived. Details are still coming in, but the attacker was described as unusually strong and unresponsive to commands. Both the officer and the suspect are in stable condition at Hennepin County Medical Center. Authorities have not released further information. In other news, President Rusk is expected to meet with pharmaceutical leaders in Atlanta later this afternoon to discuss ongoing infrastructure investments. This comes after yesterday's surprise cancellation of his scheduled appearance at the Renewable Energy Summit in Houston. No official reason has been given for the last-minute change. Meanwhile, several major airlines reported technical issues overnight, resulting in scattered delays along the East Coast. FAA officials say they're looking into it, though there's no indication of coordinated activity. That's the latest from Central News Now. We'll continue monitoring the situation in Minneapolis and bring you updates as they come in. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Good evening. I'm Daniel Hart, and this is the Central News Now broadcast for Tuesday, July 9th. We begin tonight with a developing story that is raising questions across several U.S. cities. Just hours ago, police departments in 3 different states reported unrelated but eerily similar incidents of sudden and extreme violence. What began as isolated disturbances may be part of a broader pattern. Authorities in Cleveland, Ohio confirmed that 2 people were hospitalized following what witnesses described as a frenzied attack inside a convenience store. Surveillance footage, which has not been made public, reportedly shows a man entering the store and lunging at another customer, biting him repeatedly. Police have not released the suspect's name. They did confirm he was unresponsive when taken into custody and exhibited signs of extreme delirium. Toxicology is pending. Similar incidents were reported earlier today in Henderson, Nevada and Ashburn, Georgia, each involving violent outbursts, physical attacks, and disturbingly, biting. We now go live to Central News correspondent Megan Lee, who's outside a police precinct in Henderson. Megan?
Thanks, Daniel. I'm standing outside the 6th District Precinct in Henderson, where investigators are trying to make sense of an incident that left 2 civilians and 1 officer injured. Authorities say a man wandered into traffic near South Valley Parkway just after 2 p.m. When officers arrived, he refused all commands and charged at them, knocking 1 deputy to the ground. The man bit the deputy on the forearm before backup could intervene. Bystanders say he didn't speak, didn't scream, just moaned. One witness, who asked not to be identified, said the man's face was mangled and his eyes were glassy, like he wasn't even there. The suspect was eventually restrained and taken to Henderson General. We've received unconfirmed reports that he later died in the ER after suffering a massive seizure. Henderson police are calling this an isolated event, but they are not ruling out connections to similar attacks nationwide. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Megan. These incidents appear to be escalating. Social media users have begun sharing video clips of what they claim are similar confrontations in cities like Fargo, Jacksonville, and Trenton. Please remember, these clips are unverified. Authorities urge caution in spreading misinformation during an active investigation. We now turn to health correspondent Dr. Elaine Monroe with insight on what could be causing these behaviors.
Thanks, Daniel. While we still don't have a definitive explanation, There are some early theories. Cases like these, violent outbursts, uncontrollable aggression, are sometimes associated with certain synthetic drugs. Known examples include flakka or bath salts, which have caused episodes of psychosis in the past. However, initial reports suggest that these people may not have tested positive for any known narcotic. That raises new concerns, particularly if a pathogen or environmental contaminant is at play. The CDC has not issued a public alert at this time, but I've been told they are monitoring the situation closely. I'll continue to provide updates as we learn more. Back to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Dr. Monroe. We're getting some breaking information now. A statement just released by the National Guard confirms that a small tactical team has been deployed to assist with containment efforts in Reading, Pennsylvania. That follows reports of a disturbance at a long-term care facility there earlier this evening. Details are limited, but we're hearing chatter from EMS scanners that multiple staff members were injured. A section of the facility has been evacuated. There is no confirmation yet as to whether this is connected to earlier events, but the timing is troubling. Before we close tonight's broadcast, a reminder to stay calm, remain indoors after dark, and report any suspicious behavior to local authorities. We leave you tonight with this image: emergency workers in hazmat suits escorting residents from the Sunrise Care Center in Reading. Faces pale, arms bandaged, some crying. Stay with us. Good night.
You're on the air, coast to coast, midnight, and it is a slow one, folks. I had a whole show cooked up about those desert lights, the ones people keep seeing out past the interstate. Maybe we still get to it, but the phones came in with their own plan tonight, so we followed the phones. We always end up somewhere worth going when we do. News is up on the monitor, sound off the way I run it this hour. Same 3 words crawling along the bottom you've probably got at home. Isolated, contained, investigating. Nice little words. Let's talk about your night instead. Who've we got? Ozarks. Wade. Go ahead. You're on.
Now don't laugh at me, Carl. I mean it. I went round the whole house tonight and filled everything. Every jug, the pots, both tubs. I even topped off the hot water tank. My wife's standing in the hall like her husband finally cracked.
Wade, I would never laugh at a man for filling his tub. I'll just point out, friendly, you do this every time the weatherman frowns. The ice storm, that business with the banks, world's ended on your kitchen calendar, what, 6 times now?
I know how it sounds. I do. But I had the sound off like always, and I wasn't even reading the crawl no more. I was watching the anchors' faces, and I didn't care for the faces tonight, Carl. That young one, the weekend girl, she read the same 3 calm words she reads every night, but her hands were shaking on the desk. You don't fake shaking hands. I did not care for the faces.
The faces. All right. That's the prepper's prayer, Wade, and I say it with love. Go enjoy that full tub. Amarillo, you're next. Hollis, what's keeping you up out there?
Something I can't shake, Carl. And you're about the only fella still awake I could tell it to. Driving home tonight, County Road. And there's a man just standing in my lane, not crossing, standing, headlights dead on him, and he don't even blink.
Well, now, a fellow standing in the road in Amarillo on a Saturday, that's near a tradition, Hollis. I'd put money he found the bottom of a bottle and lost his ride home.
That's what I figured. So I ease around, glance in the mirror, and the cruiser's already pulling up. 2 deputies, and Carl, it took the both of them, and a third that rolled up to get that one man down. And when they had him on the road, He bit one on the hand, clear as I see my own dash.
Bit him? Huh. Well, we get our share of that out here, friend. Fella on the bath salts, thinks he's on fire, feels nothing, takes 4 men to hold him. That's a chemical, Hollis. That's a Tuesday for a county deputy.
Maybe. But the real reason I called, my brother-in-law hauls freight. 3 days back, they turned his whole rig around outside New Haven. Soldiers on the on-ramp. Middle of the afternoon, and he says they had the full suits on. The hood, the mask, the whole hazmat rig. For a truck reroute. 3 days ago, Carl. That's before your man in Minneapolis was even on the crawl. You don't put men in hazmat on a ramp for one drunk in Amarillo.
Hollis, I've sat this chair 30 years, and every few months it's the end of the world. The comet, the flu, the banks, soldiers on a ramp. And every few months the sun comes up and we all feel a little silly. I'd bet you a full tank it comes up tomorrow too. But get on home, and hey, throw your bolt tonight. Humor an old man. One more before the break. My guy's got a Dennis holding out of Barstow, been on the line a while. Dennis, you're on. Keep it tight if you can, friend.
I'll keep it tight, 'cause I'm about done being tight, Carl. Why is everybody on the radio tonight treating this like a campfire story? And my cousin's a charge nurse, 20 years. Her ER is standing room right now, and it's bites, faces, hands. They called in every off-duty body she's got at 1 in the morning. And some of the ones they bring in, they can't sedate. Full dose. Then the second, and they're still fighting the straps. 20 years my cousin's done this. She's never seen a body do that.
Big city ERs are a zoo most weekends, Dennis. I'm not saying she's wrong to be run ragged. I'm saying it's a bad night, and bad nights end.
When? In your whole life, did you ever hear a nurse say don't come to the hospital? 'Cause that's what she told me, on the phone. Whatever you do, don't come here. 20 years she spent begging folks to come in sooner. You square that with a busy weekend, Carl, and I'll hang up a happy man.
That's a new one on me, I'll grant you. I don't have a tidy answer for that, Dennis, and I won't make one up at this hour. You tell your cousin an old radio man said take care of herself. Hang on. My producer's sliding wire copy across the desk at me. Associated Press, one line. Reading, Pennsylvania. A care facility. Staff pulled out overnight. No cause given. That's the second of those to cross my desk tonight. All right. That's Barstow. I've got to hit a break. When I'm back, more of your calls, and I swear we get to those desert lights, because I like a mystery I can enjoy. But 3 callers now, 3 states, telling me a version of the same night. Probably nothing. Chemical slammed ER, a nervous prepper, probably. Get some sleep, folks. Isolated, contained, that's the official word, and tonight I've got no good reason to doubt it. Stay with me. We'll be right back.
Day Zero, though I suspect I am the only man alive tonight who would call it that. To everyone else it is a Tuesday, and a strange one, and tomorrow it will be a Tuesday they misremember. My name is Thomas Doyle. Until 2 years ago I ran an infectious disease division. Now I run a thermostat and a garden, and I have just watched the first domino go over on the evening news. A police officer in Minneapolis, bitten during a welfare check. The assailant unresponsive to commands, unusual strength, no pain response. 4 sentences on a news crawl, and I had to sit down because I have read those 4 sentences before. I wrote some of them myself in a tabletop exercise in a conference room, in the world that believed it was being careful. I want to be wrong. I have never in my life wanted anything so precisely. So let me be a scientist about it and not a frightened old man. One case proves nothing. A drug, a psychosis, a bad night in a bad city. That is the responsible reading, and I will hold on to it as long as the data lets me. The data will not let me hold on long. I can feel that the way you feel weather in an old knee. There is a second report now crawling under the first. Cleveland, a convenience store, writing repeatedly. That is the word the writer chose and then chose to repeat. Repeatedly. There is no one to call. That is the part I never built a scenario for. I planned for the pathogen. I never planned for being retired and 61 and holding the answer with no one on the other end of the line. So I am going to talk to this recorder instead. Dr. Thomas Doyle. Day Zero. I hope I am wrong.
Wake up, people. You think this is normal? You think hospitals overflowing overnight is just a bad flu season? You've got people biting each other in parking lots, nurses barricading ICU wings, cops shooting unarmed citizens because they won't stop moving, and we're supposed to sit here and believe this is just a regional crisis? Bull, this didn't just happen. This was allowed to happen. We've been warning you for years that something like this was coming, not because we're prophets, not because we've got crystal balls, but because the writing was on the damn wall in capital letters and no one wanted to read it. The government ran simulations, Dark Winter, Crimson Contagion, Atlas X, and they all ended the same way: mass civil unrest, medical collapse, and total institutional failure. And what did they do? They buried it in classified briefings, shredded the reports, and told you to wash your hands and trust the system. Trust the system. The same system that told you Epstein hanged himself in a facility designed to prevent suicide. The same system that let corporations buy up emergency stockpiles and ship them offshore for profit. The same system that spent billions on pandemic preparedness, but somehow had zero masks in major cities by day 2. I got footage, real footage of EMTs in Dallas duct taping bite wounds shut because they ran out of gauze. And still, the media is out here pushing isolated incident, random acts of violence, panic-induced hysteria. Give me a break. I've been covering this long enough to know when they're trying to soften the language because they don't want the public asking questions. You want to know the truth? It's not just panic. It's not just psychosis. It's contagion. And if what I'm seeing is even half accurate, it's neurological, it's aggressive, and it's moving fast. People are attacking their own families, not in rage, not in fear, in silence, with blank stares, like they're following some internal calm. And still no word from the White House. No press conference, no emergency protocol, nothing but silence and rumors that Air Force One has already been scrambled west. You think that's a coincidence? They always run first. They'll hide in their bunkers while you're figuring out how to keep your kids from bleeding out on the kitchen floor. I called 3 hospitals in 3 different states and got the same message. All units are at capacity. Please seek care elsewhere. Where exactly is elsewhere? The morgue? Listen to me and listen hard. You need to wake up now. Get out of the cities. Stock water, food, ammo. Yes, ammo. Because if this continues, and it will, law enforcement won't be coming to your door. They'll be running from it. I've got sources in emergency management telling me straight they're burning data, locking records, and sealing off zones without informing the public. You're not going to get a siren warning, folks. You're not going to get a text alert. The collapse won't be televised. It'll just happen. 1 hour you're watching game shows and scrolling TikTok. The next you're watching your neighbor rip someone's throat out in your driveway. You've got hours, maybe days before this gets too big to contain. So get ready now, because when the grid goes, when the phones die, and when the lights finally go out, there's not going to be anyone coming to save you.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Hart, and you're watching Central News Now. It is 8:03 p.m. Eastern, and we begin tonight with developing reports of what authorities are calling a series of violent, unexplained assaults in multiple cities across the country. The first incident was reported just after 6 p.m. in Reading, Pennsylvania, where witnesses say a man attacked several pedestrians near the downtown transit station. Police initially believed it to be drug-related. But similar reports have since emerged in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Westport, Connecticut, and most recently Harlow Park, Illinois. Authorities are urging the public to remain calm, but a pattern is forming. We go now to Megan Lee, live outside St. Luke's General in Oak Ridge. Megan.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm standing outside St. Luke's General Hospital here in Oak Ridge, where the situation is deteriorating by the minute. Emergency rooms hit full capacity within the last hour. Dozens of people have been rushed in, most of them suffering from what appear to be violent bite wounds to the face, neck, and arms. Hospital officials initially believed the injuries were from isolated assaults, but eyewitnesses now say that several of the patients became erratic, lashing out at medical staff, screaming, and in some cases, biting anyone who got too close. We spoke with a nurse who described one patient as blank-eyed, bloodied, and impossible to restrain. She said, quote, "It was like something was using the body, but the person inside was gone." Unconfirmed reports indicate that several hospital workers have been injured. One may have been killed during what authorities are calling a containment breach. Security teams have locked down the emergency wing. I can see a convoy of National Guard vehicles arriving on site right now. Families are gathering outside, some trying to reach loved ones, others begging for answers. But there are no answers yet, only sirens and screaming. We've also received word, again unconfirmed, that similar incidents are happening at 3 other hospitals in the region. Police scanners have gone nearly silent. It's unclear if that's signal failure or something else. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. We're receiving increasingly disturbing reports from across the region. The situation appears to be escalating rapidly. Just moments ago, we received confirmation that first responders were attacked while attempting to reach a disabled vehicle on Interstate 41. Body cam footage from a state trooper, which we've not yet independently verified, shows the driver wandering in traffic, covered in blood, completely unresponsive to verbal commands. When approached, he lunged at officers, bit one in the neck before being subdued. In Brookvale, an elementary school has been placed on lockdown. Multiple students and teachers became violently ill, then reportedly entered a state of frenzied, animal-like behavior. One teacher broke a window with her bare hands, trying to escape. Children were seen climbing desks and biting others. We're also getting conflicting reports from the Oak Ridge subway line, where passengers describe people clawing at train windows and attacking those nearby. All transit services in and out of the city have now been suspended indefinitely. Cell service remains unreliable. We've lost contact with 2 of our affiliate stations in Northbridge and Harrow Point. We don't yet know if it's a technical failure or something more serious. Due to rapidly changing conditions and increased security concerns, we've been instructed to begin powering down studio operations. If our signal drops, please remain calm and monitor official emergency channels on radio and government alert systems. Our technicians are working to maintain the broadcast, but if we go dark, we'll do everything we can to return as soon as possible. Please stay safe.
Hey guys, it's John. I wasn't planning on putting anything out tonight. Honestly, I was just trying to make sense of what I'm seeing, like the rest of you. But I've been watching this thing unfold, and I can't shake the feeling that we're not being told the whole story. I mean, I've seen some bad stuff, riots, disasters, even war zones. But this is different. I watched a live stream earlier where this dude covered in blood, eyes wide open, totally blank stare, just walked straight into traffic, got hit, stood back up, and ran at the car. And no one helped. People just scattered. And honestly, I get it. There's something primal going on here. Something wrong. My DMs are full of people saying hospitals are being overrun. And there are these reports of people biting each other, attacking strangers, like animals. And it's not isolated anymore. It's in cities. It's in small towns. It's spreading way too fast. I've got a friend. Former SEAL, lives off-grid, and even he texted me saying it's time to get out of populated areas. That's not a dude who scares easy. And look, I'm not saying it's zombies. I don't even know what's going on at this point. But something is turning people into something else. Something violent. Something that doesn't feel pain, doesn't hesitate, doesn't stop. I saw one guy take 5 taser hits and just scream like it fueled him. I don't care what anyone says. That's not drugs. That's not a virus we've seen before. Maybe it's engineered. Maybe it's a mutation. I don't know. But it's not natural. And the government? They're either too slow or too scared to tell us the truth. Power's starting to flicker here. Cell signals are garbage. I had to hook this up on a backup battery just to get it out. So here's what I'll say. Don't wait for help. Get supplies. Stay armed. Don't trust anything that doesn't look right. If someone starts acting weird, if they're twitching, bleeding from the mouth, unresponsive, get away from them. Don't play hero. Don't hesitate. We might be on our own for a while. I'll try to update again if I can. Just be smart, be ready, and stay human.
This is Central News Now. After a brief technical failure, we are back on the air and broadcasting across all available channels. I'm Daniel Hart, and we are continuing our live coverage of what authorities have now officially labeled a national emergency. New reports are streaming in from Denver, Baltimore, and San Antonio, where shelter-in-place orders have been fully enacted by local law enforcement. National Guard activity has more than doubled in these areas, with civil air patrols reported overhead in increasing numbers. We are also receiving disturbing, though unverified, reports of emergency responders abandoning their posts. One firehouse in southern Kentucky was found completely empty. Gear still on the racks, radio still transmitting. No explanation as to where those first responders went. Communication lines are deteriorating. Cell networks are failing across multiple time zones, and internet service in the Northeast is grinding to a near halt. Whether this is the result of system overload, structural damage, or a coordinated shutdown that remains unknown. We've just received official confirmation. The President of the United States is about to address the nation. We now take you live to the White House.
My fellow Americans, what we are witnessing is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And I've seen a lot. Okay? A lot of things. Tremendous things. They told us this sort of thing was impossible, but here we are. We're seeing people, regular people, doing very violent, very disturbing things. Some say they're not even alive anymore. We don't know. We're looking into it. But I can tell you, it's not good. It's very bad. Now, our scientists, the best in the world, by the way, and they all agree with me, they're calling it a new kind of pathogen. Viral. Spreads fast. Real fast. Some are saying airborne. Some are saying bites. But the one thing we know, it changes people. Quickly. Too quickly. We're calling it viral aggression syndrome. That's what the CDC is going with. I came up with it. Sounds strong. Fits the situation. We're putting everything we've got into this. The National Guard, already on the ground. Tremendous coordination with governors, the best military, the best responders, tremendous people, incredible work being done. But, and this is very important, we need you to do your part. We are suspending all inbound flights from affected areas. Travel inside major cities will be restricted. Roadblocks are being set up. We've never done anything like this before, not even close. And let me be very clear. Anyone caught spreading this infection, anyone who's violent or out of control, they will be handled immediately, very strongly. This is about safety, your family, your country. We're also asking you to stay inside, just for a little while. Don't go out. Don't take risks. Don't be a hero. If someone you know, even someone you love, starts acting strangely, you isolate them. You call the hotline. You don't wait. I know this is difficult. I know people are scared. I'm hearing the stories. Kids stuck in schools, hospitals being overwhelmed, power outages. It's happening fast. But we are Americans, and we don't panic. We win. That's what we do. We win. This virus, whatever it is, it thinks it can scare us. It thinks it can tear us apart, but it picked the wrong country. We are going to beat this thing faster than anyone expects, and we're going to do it together. God bless you. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America.
That was the President of the United States. If you're just joining us, the President has confirmed what many feared, a fast-spreading, highly aggressive infection now formally designated as viral aggression syndrome, described as a pathogen that transforms behavior rapidly, possibly within minutes. The President made it clear the situation is escalating. Travel is being restricted. Roadblocks are in place. Flight bans have been enacted. He urged Americans to stay inside, not to play the hero, and to isolate anyone showing signs of aggression or altered behavior. Even family, especially family. That's not something you ever expect to hear from a sitting president. Central News Now will remain on the air as long as we can. We are receiving scattered reports of media blackouts in the Midwest. If you can still hear this, you are not alone. We'll be back with more after this.
Day one. Though I expect I am the only man left still bothering to number them. My name is Thomas Doyle. 2 years ago I ran an infectious disease division. Tonight I am a retired man in a house that has gone very quiet, talking into a recorder, because there is no longer anybody I can telephone who will pick up. I spent today the way I spent 30 years of them, reading the reports as they came in. Cleveland in the morning, then Henderson, a care home up in Reading, a dozen towns by supper time, and I quit writing them down because my hand could not keep up with the television. I know this shape. I have seen it on paper, in the drills, in the poor sleep you get after 20 years of drills. I had simply never seen it out of my own kitchen window. It was the descriptions that put me down on the floor for a while. No response to pain, no tiredness, bitten, and then not sick, worse than sick. A trauma nurse in Nebraska says one of them sat up off her table after she had already lost the pulse. Sat up. I have spent my whole life around these things, and they do not do that. A germ kills its host and goes down with the ship. This one keeps the host up on its feet and drives it around. I have no name for a thing that does that. I do not believe anyone does yet. The President went on the air this evening and handed it one regardless, viral aggression syndrome. He seemed rather pleased with the phrase, and I understand the reaching for it. You give a frightening thing a clean official word, and you pray the word holds the lid down a little longer. It will not hold the lid down. I have watched a great many careful people grab for a calm word at the exact moment the calm was already gone. That word was never meant for the sick. It was meant for the rest of us, so we might get one more night's sleep. I telephoned 4 people today, People who a month ago would have taken my call without checking the name first. One rang and rang. One was already disconnected. One picked up, said my name like a man with no time left to be kind, and hung up on me. The fourth just breathed a while. Then he said, "Tom, go home and lock your doors." And there was a sound behind him, close, and then the line was dead. This is Dr. Thomas Doyle. Day 1. My doors are locked. I know it will not matter. I locked them anyway.
This is an emergency action notification from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Emergency Alert System. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Department of Homeland Security. This is not a test. A state of national emergency has been declared for the continental United States. The following areas are subject to an active public safety directives. All counties in the states of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Tennessee, Nevada, Georgia, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. The metropolitan areas of Denver, Baltimore, and San Antonio. Additional jurisdictions will be added as conditions require.
You're on the air, coast to coast. If you just found this spot on the dial, stay a while. 2:15 in the morning, and I'm not running a normal show because there is nothing normal about tonight. No screen topics, no guest, just you, the phone, and whatever's going on out past the studio wall. News is up on the monitor, sound off, same as you've got it at home, I'd guess. They keep saying stay indoors. They keep saying isolated. They love that word. And somewhere around 2 this morning it quit sounding like a fact to me and started sounding like a thing you say to keep folks from running. Lines are open. Trenton, Faye, you're on. Go ahead.
Hi. Hi, can you hear me okay? I'm sorry, I've never called a radio. I don't know how you... There was a man in the lot behind my building, just standing there, and I thought, okay, he's drunk. People get drunk.
Take it slow, Faye. I'm right here. What happened in the lot?
He was standing strange, head down, arms just hanging, and Mr. Dell from the second floor, he went down to help him, 'cause that's what you do, you help a person. And the man grabbed him and he bit him right on the neck. My God, all the blood. I ran back inside. I ran and I didn't help Mr. Dell, I just ran.
You got yourself somewhere safe. That's not nothing, Faye. Where are you right this second?
My bathroom. Door locked, and I dragged the hamper up against it. And I keep hearing the front door of the building downstairs open and shut, open and shut, open and shut. Can I ask you? The president was on my TV, and he called it a syndrome, and then my screen went to those color bars. Do you know what it is? Does anybody actually know what it is? And there's a smell now, coming up through the vents, I think, like a butcher's shop in the summer. I keep gagging and I can't make it stop.
I don't, Faye. And I won't hand you a made-up answer, because a made-up answer is how a person gets hurt tonight. You're doing it right. The hamper, the lock, keep that hamper where it is. My producer's holding your line open, so you call back into it if you need a voice. That's Trenton, everybody. A real person in a real bathroom in Trenton, New Jersey. You are not the only one awake. Barstow, Dennis, you've been holding forever. Thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Yeah, Carl, I'm gonna be blunt with you. You had that poor girl on here scared half to death, and everybody, the news, the president, you, is tiptoeing around one word. He stood at that podium in front of the whole country and called it viral aggression syndrome. A syndrome. You know what my boy calls it? He's 12. He watched that screen 2 seconds and said, "Dad, that's a zombie."
So say it plain for me, Dennis. What is it you want folks out there to actually hear?
I want one guy with a microphone to use the real word so people quit opening their doors. That girl's neighbor, Mr. Whoever, he walked outside to help because nobody in charge told him the truth. You say syndrome, folks hear medicine. They hear ambulance. Say the dead are getting up and walking, and maybe they throw the bolt instead. Maybe they make it to morning. My boy's asleep in the hall closet right now with a dog. 12 years old, and he found the safe spot before his own dad did. So don't tell me syndrome, Carl. My kid already knows what it is. That's all I got.
Dennis and Barstow, he wants me to call these things zombies. And here's where I've landed on that, and I'll own it. The second I say it on this signal, this stops being a radio show and turns into the thing folks remember hearing right before. Maybe I'm just a coward dressing it up nicer. I don't know yet. I honestly don't. Hold on, my guy's waving at me. Let's get Amarillo. Hollis, you're on.
Carl, I grew up on your show. Overnight drives with my dad. So you know I'm not one of your crazies. I gotta be quick, 'cause I don't think I get another call out tonight. The cell towers out here dropped about an hour ago. All of them at once. That is not weather, Carl.
Slow down. Tell me what you saw. Not what you think it means. What you saw.
My brother-in-law hauls freight. 3 days back, they pulled his load off the interstate outside New Haven. Government trucks nose to tail. Soldiers on the on-ramp. 2 in the afternoon. 3 days ago, that's before your man in Minneapolis. They were already out there, on that ramp, before the rest of us knew there was a mess to... Carl, you still...
Hollis? And I lost him. That's the third line to drop out from under me tonight. I don't know if that's his tower or mine. I'm going to sit with what he said, because, folks, I can't confirm one word of it. A man's brother-in-law, a rerouted truck. That is not proof, and I won't dress it up as proof. But Hollis is the 5th caller tonight to put soldiers on that same New Haven ramp. 5th. And I couldn't get the other 4 on the air in time, so I don't know anymore. I really don't. I've got to go to a break, and I hate it when I'm back. Lines stay open. Faye, in Trenton, if you can still hear me, keep that door shut and keep breathing. And everybody, when you hear a noise outside tonight, don't go out to check it. Whatever it is, it can wait for the sun.
Hey guys, we're back. I'm here with someone a lot of you know already. Former radio host, survival author, and yeah, a controversial voice. Thanks for joining us tonight. Look, people are scared out there. We've had the president address the nation. We're seeing lockdowns, troops in the streets, but no one's saying the word zombie yet. What's going on, man?
Glad to be here. And I'm going to say this flat out. What we're watching unfold right now was never about a virus. This isn't new. It isn't spontaneous. This is a controlled burn of society as we know it. The government the contractors, the alphabet agencies, they've all run simulations on this. They've planned for it, and now they're using it to push the real agenda. Control, fear, compliance, permanent surveillance, wrapped in a biological nightmare. This outbreak, it's the match, but the gas has been leaking for years.
All right, but people are going to hear that and say, come on, that's crazy. So I need you to lay this out slow. These reports we're seeing, biting, violence, people getting up after being shot. You're saying that's not just a virus or a drug reaction?
I'm saying it's manufactured, and worse, it might have been field tested already in places we never heard about. There was a program under DARPA in 2015 called Project Helix Fall. I've seen redacted docs, neurological bioweapons designed to override empathy, pain response, and rational thought. You know what that looks like in plain terms? People tearing each other apart without flinching. People who can't be reasoned with can't be stopped unless they're destroyed. This isn't natural. It's engineered, and now it's out in the open.
Let's say you're right, and I'm not saying you are, but why would someone let this out? Why now?
Because chaos is currency for the people who think they run the world. We've had economic collapse on the horizon, geopolitical instability, climate disasters. All the stress points were primed. This outbreak gives them the perfect storm. Martial law, emergency powers, digital ID rollouts. The population will beg for it if they're scared enough. And once it's in place, it doesn't go away. It becomes the new normal. And that's what they want. A world with no freedom, no dissent, and no escape.
You mentioned something earlier about the president's broadcast. What did you see there that the rest of us missed?
He didn't look like a commander-in-chief. He looked like a man who'd already sealed the blast doors behind him. Sure, it was a live feed, but let's be honest, that wasn't the White House. That was a hardened bunker, probably deep in the Rockies or under Cheyenne Mountain. They had backup comms, no press, no follow-up. I've got a contact in NORAD who confirmed Air Force One diverted hours before the speech. They got him underground fast. You don't do that unless you know, not think, know, that the country's about to go dark.
Okay, so say someone's hearing this and they're not completely tuning out. What do you want them to actually do?
Get out of the cities. Now. I don't care how safe your neighborhood feels. It won't feel that way when the lights go out and the infected start moving in packs. Stock up on water, long-life food, medical kits and weapons. Yes, weapons. You see someone foaming, twitching, blood running down their face, don't ask questions. Don't hesitate, because what's coming through that door isn't your friend or your neighbor anymore. It's something else, and it won't stop until you do.
And you think this is it? The real collapse?
I think we're past the threshold, yeah. The internet will go dark, power grids will fail, and whatever's left of the government will vanish behind barbed wire and biometric scanners. You won't hear a warning siren, just silence. And when that happens, it means the world you knew is gone. You want to survive? Start acting like the world ended yesterday.
Caleb Rook, everyone, agree or disagree, he doesn't hold back. We'll try to keep this feed live as long as we've got signal. Until then, stay smart, stay safe, and maybe stay skeptical.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Hart, and this is Central News Now. It is 8:01 p.m. Eastern, and the nation continues to grapple with a rapidly evolving public health and safety crisis. Over the past 24 hours, violent attacks have surged in nearly 24 cities. Hospitals are overwhelmed, first responders are exhausted, and local authorities are urging residents to remain indoors. Just moments ago, we received unconfirmed reports that a quarantine perimeter has been established around the entire downtown sector of Springfield, Missouri. National Guard convoys have blocked all routes in and out. There is speculation that similar lockdowns are being quietly implemented in parts of Indiana, Georgia, and Utah. We have not been able to independently verify those reports. For the first time tonight, officials are speaking publicly about what they believe may be behind the outbreak. We now go to senior health correspondent Dr. Elaine Munro.
Daniel, the CDC has confirmed the presence of a previously unidentified viral agent in blood samples collected from several infected people. The virus appears to target the brain and nervous system, resulting in erratic behavior, aggression, and near total loss of higher cognitive function. While still early in their analysis, the CDC is calling it viral neurodegenerative pathogen 1, or VNP1. Its origin remains unknown. However, and this is critical, the incubation period is described as alarmingly short. Symptoms in some people have developed within minutes of exposure. There are conflicting theories on transmission. Some believe it is airborne. Others say it only occurs through direct contact with infected blood or saliva. And now, Daniel, we are hearing the first unverified reports that some infected people are getting back up after being declared dead. A trauma nurse in Lincoln, Nebraska, claims to have witnessed a patient whose vitals had ceased suddenly convulse and then lunge at staff. She described it as impossible, like the body rebooted. Again, these are early, unconfirmed accounts, but they are consistent with similar stories emerging from emergency rooms across the country. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Monroe. Moments ago, a private security consultant formerly with the Department of Homeland Security told us off camera that the virus may have originated from a biological research facility outside New Haven, Connecticut. We have not confirmed that claim with federal officials. However, satellite imagery does show heavy military presence at that site as of this afternoon. If true, it raises serious questions about containment and whether this outbreak may be the result of a catastrophic failure. For now, government spokespeople are not commenting on the facility or its activities. We're now joined by field reporter Megan Lee, stationed outside a refugee triage zone in Harlow Park, Illinois, one of the hardest hit areas. Megan?
Daniel, it's hard to describe what we're seeing here. The entire high school gymnasium has been converted into a field hospital. Rows of cots, patients moaning, some strapped down. Earlier, I watched a man, unconscious, suddenly begin to convulse, thrashing so violently that it took 4 soldiers to hold him. Seconds later, he bit into one of their arms, right through the uniform. We heard a gunshot. Then everything went silent. That soldier was carried away. He wasn't moving. And Daniel, we are hearing something else. Again, not confirmed, but spreading fast. People are saying these infected can only be stopped by trauma to the head. We've now heard it from 3 different soldiers. Shoot the head. I asked one of them if it was true. He just looked at me and nodded. Then he told me to keep moving. I don't know what's happening. I don't think they do either. Back to you.
Thank you, Megan. Please stay safe. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be clear. We are doing everything we can to bring you verified information, not rumors. But the speed at which this situation is evolving, the lack of clear guidance from federal officials, and the sudden silence from multiple cities is deeply troubling. In the last 90 minutes, we've lost contact with our affiliates in Cheyenne, Montgomery, and Spokane. We don't know why, but we are trying to find out. This is not a movie. This is happening right now. We'll continue this coverage after the break.
All right. So we're live, or something close to it. I don't even know if anyone's hearing this right now. The grid's been offline for hours. We're running off a diesel generator and crossed fingers. No cell service. No internet. This is all going out on emergency broadcast channels and whatever radios are still working. I don't know if this is the end of the world, but if it is, I figured we should at least talk about it. I've got a guest with me tonight, someone who actually knows what the hell is going on. His name is Dr. Thomas Doyle, former virologist with the CDC, advisor to half the alphabet agencies. He's been warning people about biological threats for a long time, and now we've got something straight out of a horror movie. Doctor, welcome.
Good evening, John. Assuming, of course, it is still evening where anyone hears this. Time has become somewhat distorted in recent days. What you're witnessing, what the world is experiencing, is what I would call a culmination of arrogance, neglect, and a rather disturbing failure to listen. The pathogen currently sweeping the globe is not new, not entirely. It is, in scientific terms, a recombinant strain, part viral, part parasitic, engineered, perhaps, released by accident or design. That I do not know. But what I do know is that it rewrites human biology fast, violently, irreversibly.
You're saying these people, the ones attacking others, they're not just sick? They're, what? Gone?
Precisely. You must understand, John, the virus targets the limbic system first. Emotion, impulse control, then the frontal cortex, decision-making, memory. It leaves the brainstem largely intact, which means the body moves, it reacts, it attacks, but it no longer thinks.
So it's not just like rabies. This is worse.
Infinitely worse. Rabies kills the host. This uses the host, reanimates it, sustains it, even in conditions that would normally result in expiration. We've seen specimens continue to function with massive tissue damage, missing limbs, fractured bones, no apparent pain response.
How do you stop it? How do you kill one of these things?
Remove the brain, blunt force, ballistics, fire if necessary. This is not something one subdues. It must be destroyed.
And the spread? How bad is it?
Exponential. Transmission appears to be blood-borne, saliva, aerosol in close quarters, and tragically through bites. The incubation period, minutes, sometimes less. There is no cure, no treatment, and containment. Well, I believe we are rather past that point.
Jesus Christ. So what are you saying? That we lost?
Not lost, merely behind. The only path now is survival. Small groups, low visibility, minimal contact. The cities are gone. The systems we trusted, government, infrastructure, medicine, all fractured. What remains is instinct, discipline, and perhaps luck.
Man, I don't know what people are supposed to do with that. You're basically saying this thing can't be stopped. There's no cavalry.
No, there is no cavalry. And the sooner we accept that, the sooner we begin to survive. This is no longer about saving the world, John. It's about saving your world, whoever's left in it.
All right. That's Dr. Thomas Doyle. And if you're still hearing this, find shelter. Stay low, stay smart, and don't open the door for anyone unless you're sure. We'll try to keep this feed alive as long as we can. But if it goes dark, you'll know why.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Hart, and you're watching Central News Now. It is 10 p.m. Eastern, and we continue to follow what is rapidly becoming the most severe national emergency in modern history. Federal officials have just issued a Tier 5 disaster warning, urging citizens in all major metro areas to seek shelter immediately and avoid contact with anyone exhibiting erratic or violent behavior. We are receiving word that a federal quarantine zone has failed outside of Pittsburgh. Multiple escapees may be infected. Local emergency services are overwhelmed. National Guard units are being rerouted to population centers experiencing large-scale outbreaks. We go now live to Megan Lee, stationed outside a secondary triage facility in South Oak Ridge. Megan, can you tell us what you're seeing?
Daniel. The scene here is worse than anything we've witnessed so far. The makeshift medical tents were overflowing within an hour of setup. There are bodies, Daniel, there are bodies in the street that no one is moving. Medical staff are breaking down. People are screaming at the gates, demanding help. And now, my God, Daniel, something's happening at the East Checkpoint. I can see people running. National Guard just opened fire. They're yelling for civilians to get down. Wait, something just jumped the barricade. It's in the crowd. Oh my, Daniel, we need to, oh no, they're coming.
Megan, are you there? Megan, can you hear me? We've lost the feed. We're trying to reestablish the connection now. If anyone on the ground near South Oak Ridge can hear this, please contact emergency channels. I'm being told our tech team is seeing a signal spike on the main uplink. It could be a power surge. Wait, something's happening outside. I just heard shouting. To our viewers, if you can still hear this, please listen carefully. We are initiating immediate lockdown at the Central News Now studios. All staff are moving to the secure broadcast room. This may be the final television transmission before we switch to emergency radio systems. I repeat, we are under attack. The power is failing. Backup batteries online, but they won't last. If this signal cuts, tune to the official emergency frequency. We'll try to reach you there.
This is an emergency action notification from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. A Tier 5 disaster condition is now in effect. This directive applies to all major metropolitan areas of the continental United States. Multiple containment zones have failed. Infected persons are present outside of established perimeters. The affected population is expanding. Affected persons do not respond to verbal command. They do not respond to conventional measures. Federal guidance now advises that an affected person can be stopped only by trauma to the head. This guidance is issued for the preservation of uninfected life. The following are recognized indicators of infection: sudden and unprovoked aggression, loss of speech, no response to pain or to spoken command, bleeding from the mouth or eyes. A person displaying these indicators must be considered dangerous and beyond aid. The following instructions are mandatory. Shelter in place immediately. Do not travel to hospitals. Do not travel to evacuation points on foot. Do not approach military checkpoints unless directed. Remain in your secured location and await instruction. If you are sheltering with other people, designate one exit and keep it clear. Account for every member of your group. Do not admit any person who has been bitten. A bite is an infection. There are no exceptions to this instruction. A total curfew is in effect. The National Guard is authorized to enforce this curfew. Persons found outdoors may be detained. Persons displaying symptoms of infection will not be permitted to enter shelters or checkpoints. Monitor emergency frequency 540 AM for further instruction. Standard broadcast and cellular service is no longer reliable in most regions. This message will repeat. Shelter in place. Do not approach the infected. Observe the curfew. Await further instruction. This has been an emergency action notification from the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Emergency Alert System.
If you're hearing my voice, you've found the right spot on the dial. 5:40 a.m. TV went dark hours ago. Most of the FM band is just hiss now. But this old transmitter's still kicking, and so am I. So let's not waste it. And I'm done pretending. You heard me last night dancing around the word a man named Dennis kept pushing me to say. Dennis Barstow, if you're out there, you were right, and I was a coward in a nicer coat. So here it is, from a fella who spent 30 years swearing the monsters weren't real. It's zombies. The dead are getting up. They're walking. So there it is. Throw your bolt. Now, calls while I've still got the power. Macon, Earl, go ahead, friend.
Thank you, Carl. I'm no preacher. I'll say that right off. I'm a back pew man, the kind that nods off during the second hymn. But I've had my Bible open on the kitchen table 2 days now, and I keep landing on the same page. The one where the graves open up.
Which page is that, Earl?
Revelation. Always figured it was a story. A scary story for grown folks. And now my grandson's asleep in the bathtub with his shoes on, in case we gotta run. And I'm sitting here thinking, what if it wasn't a story? What if it was just true? I'm scared, Carl. Old man like me, scared. And I don't even know the right way to pray for a thing like this.
I don't think there's a wrong way, Earl. I think you just did it on the radio in front of everybody. You got neighbors out there with you, or is it just you and the boy?
Had neighbors. The Prentice family, 2 doors down. Good people. They loaded up that big van the second night and lit out for the interstate. I stood in the driveway and begged Hal to stay. Told him the open road's the worst place a body can be right now. He didn't want scripture from a back pew man, and I don't blame him. I hope I was wrong about that road.
Macon, Georgia. Keep that boy close, Earl. Ozarks next, Wade. They tell me you've got about a minute before you have to go. Make it count.
I will, and thank you. I'm shutting the set off after this to save the battery. So everybody calling in scared, I hear you, but panic burns daylight you don't get back. So here's the one thing. Water. Fill every container you own tonight while there's pressure in the pipes. Tubs, pots, the toilet tank. The hot water heater's got 40 gallons in it you forgot about. When the pumps quit, and they will, that's the whole difference between staying put and going out there among them. That's it. That's my sermon, Carl.
Water tonight while there's pressure. Wade in the Ozarks, calmest man in America. Go save that battery, friend. We'll be here.
You take care of yourself, Carl.
He hung up before I could say it back. I had a woman holding on the second line, Sioux Falls, and I just watched her light go out before I got to her. I don't know if that's her battery or her tower or something walked in the room. I'm going to quit guessing out loud. It doesn't help. One more before the top of the hour. They tell me this is a hard one. Oak Ridge. Gil, you still with me?
Yeah, hang on, I was at the checkpoint. South Oak Ridge. The one on the news. With the lady reporter right before it. I was there. 40 feet from her, maybe, when the line went.
Tell me what you saw.
They kept saying the fence would hold. Soldiers, real calm. Stay in your cars. Stay in your cars. And then it wasn't 40 feet, it was 10. It was... I watched a soldier put 3 rounds in a man's chest. And the man took his rifle off him. Just took it. Walked right through it. The chest don't matter, Carl. Nothing below the neck matters. And somebody's got to say it on the radio. You aim high. You aim for the head, or you don't bother.
The head. Okay. If it comes to it, and God, I hope it never comes to it for you, you aim for the head. Gil, where are you now?
In a truck. Not mine. The keys were just in it. I've been going north a while now. I couldn't tell you how long. The clock's dead in here. It's okay. We're okay. We're almost... Sorry. Sorry, Carl. There's nobody in here. I keep doing that. Look, I gotta keep moving. That's the one thing you tell people. Don't stop. Whatever you see out there, you do not stop the truck.
Gil, before you drop off, is there anybody with you?
No. No, there was. My sister. Right behind me coming out of that lot. In her own car. I had her in the mirror the whole way. And then I just didn't. The blood on the seat. It's hers. I got her door open and I'm sorry, I keep saying we. I keep saying we. The gauge is at 1/4 and I'm not pulling in any place that's got its lights on. I gotta go now, Carl. Thank you for picking up the phone.
Gil, Oak Ridge, driving north, top of the hour, and I'm supposed to give you a station ID and a time check. I don't have a time I trust, and I'm the only station left, so it's late. You're listening to whatever this is now. I'll stay on it long as the lights hold. Fill your water, like the man from the Ozarks said, and Gil, God keep him, told you where to aim. Keep it here on 540. I'll keep talking if you keep listening. That's about the only deal we've got left.
Do you hear me now, brothers and sisters? Do you feel it in your bones, in the trembling ground and the cold breath of death that sweeps through your towns like a plague of ghosts? This is no disease. This is declaration. The Lord has spoken through silence, through suffering, through the thunder of bones on broken pavement, and still you doubt? Still you seek comfort in your reason, your science, your streaming sermons and prosperity prayers? No more. This is the reaping. This is the flood returned in fire. We built towers of arrogance, platforms of pride, temples of lust, and expected heaven to bless them. We drowned the truth in our entertainment, smothered the spirit under our greed. You think this happened overnight? No, this was earned. This was built brick by centuries of sin. And now the foundation is cracked and hell has poured through the seams. The graves are empty. The dead walk not because of infection, but because the soul has fled from the heart of man. We didn't just lose our way. We set fire to the map and laughed while it burned. Now the flames have found us. Now the children hide behind rusted doors while their fathers fall beneath undead teeth. Do you see it now? Do you feel the heat? This is not the wrath of nature. This is the absence of grace. We have made this. We have summoned it with our defiance. The blood runs in the streets not from war, but from judgment, and still we beg for answers. You were warned. The good book told you the day would come like a thief in the night, that the dead would rise and the stars would fall and the sound of weeping would drown out the sound of joy. You mocked prophecy. You called it myth. You traded your inheritance for comfort and clicks, and now comfort has fled and only judgment remains. Mothers eat in silence while their children scream in their sleep. Fathers weep beside the corpses of sons. And still you will not pray. Still you look for a cure. The cure is not in your hands. It never was. It's in your knees, bent to the floor, soaked in repentance. You want salvation? You want hope? Then burn your idols. Smash your screens and your pride. Fall on your face before the one who still watches, who still waits, even now. But do it fast, brothers and sisters, because the hour is late. The stars have gone dark. The horns are silent. And the dead do not sleep. They hunger. They move. They are the punishment made flesh. They are what remains when a world removes its soul. But if you can still hear this voice, if breath still stirs in your lungs, it's not too late for your spirit. Confess your sins. Cry out to heaven, not for survival, but for cleansing. Because your guns won't save you. Your bunkers will collapse. Your governments are dust. But the Lamb still listens, and the gate is still open, just a crack. If you would but run through it. There is no more room in hell. So it has come here. And if we fall now, let us fall on our knees, not on our backs. Let the last breath from our lungs be a prayer, not a scream. Because even as the dead rise, the living still have a choice. So choose.
This is Daniel Hart, broadcasting on emergency frequency 540 AM. Time is 2:14 AM Eastern. If you're hearing this, you're still alive, and so are we. I'm speaking to you from an undisclosed location, a backup facility connected to the old Civil Defense Network. This is not a drill. Central News Now television has gone dark. Our main broadcast tower was compromised just after 10:30 p.m. last night. Most of our staff didn't make it out. I did. A handful of engineers did. Megan Lee did not. We still don't know what happened after her last transmission, but from what we've seen and what we've heard, it's safe to assume the worst. The government has activated the National Emergency Broadcast System. All stations were ordered to switch to radio by midnight. Satellite feeds are intermittent. Cellular networks are down across most of the East Coast. The grid is failing. Power is being rationed to critical sectors. If you have a battery-powered radio, keep it on. If you're near a generator, conserve fuel. Do not leave your shelter unless absolutely necessary. We have confirmation from FEMA and the CDC that the infection is viral in nature. It spreads primarily through saliva and blood. Bite transmission. Symptoms manifest within minutes. Victims exhibit extreme aggression, loss of speech, and a total absence of higher brain function. They do not respond to pain. They do not retreat. They are not sick. They are lost. Unverified reports suggest that the infected can only be stopped by severe trauma to the brain, headshots, blunt force to the skull. This information has not been officially confirmed. Use it at your own risk. We've been joined now by Dr. Elaine Monroe, former virologist with the CDC, speaking with us by satellite phone from a secure medical station in Denver. Doctor, what can you tell us about this virus?
Thank you, Daniel. What we're seeing is a complete neurological hijack. The virus attacks the central nervous system with a speed we've never documented. The limbic system is overloaded. All higher reasoning shuts down. Victims revert to primal behavior. Fight, hunt, consume. They don't sleep. They don't feel pain. And most disturbing of all, they do not die easily. We believe the virus uses the host's body as a kind of vessel, a carrier, but it's not just infection. It's erasure. The person is gone. Only the body remains. In every measurable way, it's as if something else is behind the eyes. Not intelligent, not aware, just focused. Like instinct wearing skin. We've lost good people trying to study them up close. No one should attempt contact.
What about transmission? Is there any hope of a cure?
Transmission is highly aggressive. We believe it can survive in open air for short periods. Bites are the primary vector. There is no vaccine. No antiviral has shown effectiveness. There may be a brief window, minutes, maybe less, after exposure, where containment is possible. But right now, Daniel, our priority is not saving the infected. It's saving the uninfected. That means evacuation, relocation, isolation. No one is coming to help. There are no field hospitals, no airlifts, only choices.
Understood. Thank you, Doctor. Stay safe. If you're hearing this, know that you are not alone. There are others, families, first responders, civilians. We don't know how many are left, but there's still a signal. That means there's still hope. We will continue broadcasting every hour on the hour. Between updates, we will rebroadcast government advisories and survivor messages. If you have power, record this frequency. If you have batteries, save them. Stay silent when you can. Stay hidden. Stay alive. This is Daniel Hart. You're listening to the Emergency Broadcast Network. We are still here.
Day 2. The quarantine outside Pittsburgh went this afternoon. I had it on the radio. A reporter said the word failed, and then there was screaming, and then the station cut to a tone. When it came back, a different man was reading, and his voice was not steady. I have been sitting with that a few hours now. A federal cordon is not supposed to fail in an afternoon. It is supposed to buy you weeks. It bought them an afternoon. I spent the day listening to people I know do their jobs and do them wrong, and I cannot even blame them for it. They are doing them exactly the way we all trained. That is the trouble. I sat in rooms with some of the men giving the orders tonight years ago, and I can hear the training in every careful sentence they read out. And every careful sentence is a step behind the thing itself. I keep wanting to reach into the radio and take them by the collar. Stop being careful. Careful is going to get everybody killed. They still cannot settle on what to call it. You can hear them not settling. Infected, afflicted, individuals exhibiting symptoms. There is a committee somewhere tonight choosing the word that will frighten people the least. And a trauma nurse in Nebraska already said the only word that matters right into a local camera, that a man's heart stopped and he got up off her table anyway. She said it plain, hours ago. It will take the people I trained another 2 days to say it out loud, and by then nobody will need telling. The germ is the small part of this. I keep having to remind myself of that. The germ is simple. It bites, it spreads, it does the one thing it knows. It is the rest of us doing the killing at speed. The panic emptied the stores before the sick ever filled a hospital. The arguing cost the only days that were worth anything. I spent 30 years frightened of the pathogen. I should have been frightened of the meeting. My street went quiet about an hour ago. Not the good kind. No cars, no dogs. One porch light on down the block that nobody has come out to turn off. This is Dr. Thomas Doyle, Day 2. I am going to switch the radio off now. I already know how this part goes. I would just rather not sit here and listen to us get there.
You're listening to what's left of the John Report, broadcasting from an off-grid relay bunker somewhere west of what used to be Colorado Springs. Power's flickering, but we're still running. Every day I get fewer messages on the ham radio. I don't know how many of you are still out there, but if you're hearing this, I've got someone with me today who's got a lot to say. He's not a scientist, he's not military, but he's been calling this thing judgment since day one. Reverend Elijah Boone. Welcome to the show, if you can call it that.
Thank you, John. And let me say this plain for your listeners. If any remain, this is the hand of God. This plague, this walking damnation, it ain't evolution. It ain't climate change. It's divine retribution. We spit in the face of the Lord for generations. We slaughtered the unborn. We worshiped sex and money. We let our children be raised by screens and sin. And now he has removed his hand. We are naked before the storm. The world was warned. Prophets cried out for decades, but the people laughed, mocked, called it hellfire fantasy. Well, they ain't laughing now, John.
You're not pulling any punches, Reverend. But I gotta ask, why now? Why this generation? Is it really that much worse than before?
Worse? Brother, we turned sin into entertainment. We let pride parade down our streets while the poor starved in silence. We made influencers our idols. We made virtue a meme, and we silenced the truth tellers. They were shadow banned and buried. And then came the silence, the blackout, no more feeds, no more likes, just moaning in the dark and the cold breath of death against your door. He warned us, John, and now the trumpet's echoing, whether you hear it or not.
I've seen the cities, Denver, Omaha, whole blocks just gone, like the bones of a giant rotting in the sun, and you're saying that's righteous punishment?
I am saying it is righteous consequence. Judgment is not cruelty. It is the harvest of rebellion. This nation sowed arrogance and now reaps ruin. And yet, God in his mercy still gives breath. Every survivor is a spark. Every breath is a chance. But they must turn. They must repent. Because this ain't just a virus. It's possession. It's unholy fire walking on 2 feet.
Reverend, you're saying this is supernatural? Like demons?
What else do you call a thing that eats its brother alive? What else but hell's hunger would walk through bullets and keep coming? You've seen their eyes, John. Ain't no soul behind them. It's not just biology, it's spiritual rot. And unless we clean house, it'll spread beyond flesh. It'll rot the very land.
So, what do we do, Reverend? What can the people out there listening actually do?
Repent. That's the first step. Burn your idols. Fall to your knees. Cry out for mercy. Not from the government, not from the military, but from the Lord of hosts. Confess your sins. Forgive your enemies. Bury your pride. And if you survive, live like he's watching. Because he is. And the second step? Arm yourself, not just with weapons, but with Scripture. Because this war is fought in flesh, yes, but it's won in spirit.
You're not wrong about the weapons part. I've had to put down more than one friend. People I knew for years.
The body is dust. The soul is judged. Whether you die screaming or sleeping, your spirit will stand before the throne. That's the final broadcast, John. No static, no signal loss, just truth.
Powerful words. Reverend Boone, thank you for being here. Whether people believe you or not, I hope they listen. I'm going to keep broadcasting until the lights go out, and maybe that's enough. For those still tuning in, stay human, keep your soul clean, and if you hear anything moving in the dark, you better pray it ain't hungry.
I don't know how many of you are still out there. Board used to light up like a Christmas tree. Now it's one line at a time, if I'm lucky. We're down to the backup bank tonight, so if I go quiet in the middle of a word, that's the transmitter. That's not me walking out on you. I'm sorry for it in advance. Let's take what we can while we can. Dubuque, Roy, you're on. Roy, you'll have to speak up, buddy. You're way down.
I can't speak up. I'm sorry. I got the closet door pulled shut, and if I'm loud, it hears me. Carl, I got nobody else left to ask. My wife got bit on the hand this afternoon, a little one, and she said she was fine, but she's not fine. She's one of those things now.
Roy, I'm here. Where is she now?
Other side of the bedroom door. I got Katie in the closet with me. She's 6, and I can hear her mother out there. Not talking, just moving, bumping into the wall. Carl, what do I do? You've had doctors on this show. Somebody has to have said what a man does. Please, just tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Roy, I don't have it. You called a radio man. I play records and I take calls about lights in the sky. Nobody who ever came through this microphone gave me the thing you're asking me for. And I'm not going to hand you a pretty lie, not tonight, not you. The only thing I know is the little one. You keep Katie quiet. You put yourself between her and that door, and you don't move off it. That's all I've got, Roy. I wish to God it was more.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you for not lying to me. I'm going to hang up now. I don't want the phone making light in here.
Roy... And he's gone. God, I can't do this anymore. There's a line been blinking at me a while now, and I kept... All right, here we go. Hi there, son. You're on the radio. Can you tell me your name?
Are you the man on the radio?
I am. I'm the man on the radio. What's your name?
My mom said, don't tell my name to strangers.
Well, that's a smart mom. That's a real smart mom, and you keep on listening to her. You don't gotta tell me a thing. Can you tell me where your mom is right now?
There was a man outside. He bit my mom on her arm. She said it was just a little bite, and she washed it and put a Band-Aid. and then she got real hot, and she laid down on the floor, and she won't wake up. I shaked her arm. I'm not supposed to touch the phone, but the TV is just gray, and I pushed all the buttons, and you were the only one who talked back.
You did so good pushing those buttons. You hear me? You did everything right. Now I need you to do one more thing for me. Is there a door in your house that locks? A bathroom, a closet, anywhere small?
The bathroom locks.
Good. That's good. You take a blanket, and you go in that bathroom, and you push the little lock, quiet as a mouse in the wall, and you keep that phone right with you. Can you do that for me while we talk? Go on now.
Okay. Mister, wait. My mom's getting up now. She stood up all funny, and she won't say anything. Is she all better now? Can I go see her?
No, son. You do not go and see her. You get in that bathroom and you push that lock right now, and you don't open it for anybody. Not for anybody. Not even your mom. Right now. Do it right now. For me. Are you there, buddy? Hello? Call dropped. I don't have a station ID for that, folks. I don't have anything for that one. Just give me a second here. Give me a second. There's a fella been holding, says he's a medic. Yeah, go ahead, friend. I could stand to hear a practical voice about now.
Medic. Well, I was one. Ran a rig till the garage got overrun a couple nights back. Carl, look, you keep telling folks to get to a hospital. You gotta quit saying that. There's no hospital. I'll just say it flat so nobody wastes their last good idea on it. The ERs went first. Everybody carried the bit ones there, so that's where it took off fastest. You drive to a hospital tonight, you're driving right into the worst of it. That's the ugly truth of the thing.
Hank, let me ask you what everybody's scared to. Somebody with you gets bit. How long they got before...
Not long. I've seen it turn a grown man in under a minute. I've seen it take the better part of an hour. No rule to it, which is its own kind of mean. So if it's somebody you love, and there's a thing you gotta say to 'em, you say it now. You don't wait for it to be easier. I waited once. There's no easier coming. That's all I got.
So where do folks go, Hank? Give 'em somewhere.
Away from people. That's the whole map, Carl. It goes where we bunch up. Shelter, a checkpoint, any place with a crowd. That's where the noise is, and it follows noise. So you get small. You get gone. You stay away from the sound of other engines. I know that's a hard thing to tell a man with kids. I ain't got a softer one for you.
No. I don't guess there is a softer one. Hank, thank you. Genuinely. You gave him more just now than I've managed all night.
Hey, you're a voice in the dark, Carl. That ain't nothing. Anyhow, I'm gonna go find my own small, quiet place. You ought to think about yours.
Yeah. Maybe I oughta. That's about all I got in me tonight, and the needle on the power bank says it's about all this old transmitter's got too. If I'm back tomorrow, I'm back. If I'm not, you heard the medic, get small. Get quiet. Stay away from the crowd. And keep your little ones behind a door that locks. That's all I know anymore, folks. Good night, whoever's still out there. Stay off the roads.
This is Daniel Hart, broadcasting live on emergency frequency 540 AM. We have just received word from the White House. The president is about to deliver a second national address from an undisclosed secure facility. All major news outlets have gone off the air. You are listening to one of the last working signals. We now go live to President Rusk.
My fellow Americans, I want to begin by saying that we are in control. Everything is being handled very strongly. We've moved to a secure location, a beautiful facility, very safe, very advanced, tremendous security. Now look, we've all seen what's happening. It's not great. A lot of people, good people, they didn't see it coming. Nobody did. But we've acted faster than any other nation would have. Much faster. The best teams, Incredible people. Most of our major cities are experiencing what the experts are calling total breach. That means the cities are gone, folks. I'm sorry to say it. But we had to make a choice. We sealed the borders. We shut down air travel. We've done more in 48 hours than most leaders do in 8 years. Washington, D.C. is being evacuated. I repeat, we are leaving the capital. We've activated Continuity Zero. Very powerful. It allows your government to function from a secure, mobile location, one of the best-kept secrets in the world. We will continue to lead. We are not surrendering. We are not giving up. We're simply repositioning. Retaking the country will require time, strategy, and maybe a few things I can't talk about yet, but trust me, you're going to love them. If you're in a safe zone, stay put. Don't try to reach the cities. If you've been exposed, if someone you know has been infected, do not wait. Do not hesitate. You have to do the hard thing. It's tough, I know, but it's necessary. We are Americans. We don't quit. We don't let fear win. And when the smoke clears, and it will clear, we're going to rebuild. Bigger, better, stronger than ever before. This thing, this virus, it tried to destroy us. It thought it could break us. But I'll tell you right now, it made a big mistake, a huge mistake. We are the United States of America, and we don't go down. We fight, we win, and we are going to win this. Believe me. God bless you. God bless our military, and God bless the United States of America.
That was President Rusk speaking from an undisclosed bunker. If you're just tuning in, Washington, D.C. is no longer operational. The federal government has officially relocated. We've confirmed the fall of Philadelphia, Houston, St. Louis, and Seattle. Emergency broadcasts from Atlanta have gone silent. National Guard forces are retreating to defensive zones. Coordinated resistance is crumbling. The CDC's final emergency bulletin ended mid-transmission. There has been no word from the Surgeon General. We are operating with limited intel, intermittent signals, and a shrinking perimeter. Power is failing in most of the Northeast. Our backup relay is running on limited fuel. If this signal drops without warning, assume the worst. For those of you listening, stay quiet, stay hidden, and do not approach the infected. If you can hear this, know that others can too. Somewhere out there, someone else is clinging to this same voice in the dark. So hold on. We'll be back with another update at the top of the hour. This is Daniel Hart. You are not alone. This is Daniel Hart, broadcasting from Central News Now operating under emergency civil frequency 540 AM. Time is 2:17 p.m. Eastern. We've just received a disturbing report from a military relay station in Fort Pickett, Air Force One, carrying President Rusk and several top officials may have come under attack during takeoff. I want to be very clear, this information is still unconfirmed. But we have intercepted portions of an air traffic control feed. We're going to play them now. What you're about to hear is raw and may be difficult to process.
We've got hostiles on the ground. They're not responding to warnings. Some are climbing onto the landing gear. They're inside. They're inside the stairwell. Weapons discharged. Secure the president. Shots fired inside the aircraft. Cockpit lockdown initiated. No response from rear cabin. We have internal breach.
That's all we have. The signal was lost just after that last transmission. The White House has not responded to requests for comment. NORAD has gone dark. No new radar data has been shared since the top of the hour. If Air Force One has been compromised, then we are in truly uncharted territory. Let's check in now with our field correspondent, Trevor Moore, who's been broadcasting from the edge of the Baltimore quarantine zone. Trevor, are you there?
Daniel, I don't know how long we can stay here. Everything's on fire.
The checkpoints are gone. I saw soldiers being pulled down behind the barricades. They didn't even have time to shoot. We tried to get closer to the safe zone, but there is no safe zone. The 81st Airborne, they were here an hour ago. Now they're just gone. People are flooding into side streets. I saw a father throw his daughter over a fence just to get away. I think I saw someone.
We've lost contact with Trevor, Baltimore's presumed fallen. Communications from the East Coast are collapsing faster than expected. There are rumors that the CDC facility in Atlanta has been destroyed. Nothing is confirmed, but everything is pointing in one direction. There is no more chain of command. There are no more airlifts. If you're hearing this, you are on your own. This is Daniel Hart. I'll stay on this line as long as I can, until the lights go out. This is Daniel Hart, broadcasting from what's left of Central News Now. It is 4:41 a.m. Eastern. We are one of only two stations still transmitting east of the Rockies. Communication with the Western Defense Grid has failed. The National Guard has been disbanded. And as of 2:19 a.m., the United States federal government is no longer operational. Air Force One was confirmed down outside of Dover. No survivors. But we've just received a secure uplink from what remains of the emergency continuity shelter in Colorado. Vice President Nathaniel Cross, acting as Commander-in-Chief, has released a final statement. We play it for you now.
My name is Nathaniel Cross. If you're hearing this, then God help you. The President is dead. So is most of the cabinet. The federal line of succession collapsed sometime around midnight. I'm speaking to you now from an underground bunker. But we won't be here much longer. The infection is not contained. It's not regional. It is everywhere. I repeat, everywhere. Major cities have been overrun. Rural towns are cut off. There are no more flights, no more trains, no reinforcements are coming. We've learned a few things. You need to listen. If you want to survive, do not leave your home. Do not attempt to travel unless absolutely necessary. The infected are not sick. They are not confused. They are dead. Their bodies are moving, but there's nothing left inside. The only way to stop them is to destroy the brain. Shoot it, crush it, burn it if you have to. Don't aim for the chest. Don't try to talk to them. They are not people. They don't feel pain, and they do not stop. I wish I had better news. I wish there was hope. But right now, the only thing you can do is live. Take care of your family. Find a safe place. And wait. We'll be powering down this facility soon. It won't last much longer. America, if you're still out there, survive.
That was Vice President Cross, issuing what may be the final statement from any branch of the United States government. We have no further incoming signals. Our generators are failing. The building is surrounded. We've moved the last of the staff into the maintenance sublevels. I don't know how long we'll be able to transmit, but if this is our final sign-off, I want to thank you for listening, for fighting, for hoping. You've stayed with us through every emergency broadcast, every evacuation order, every false hope and grim update. We tried to give you truth, even when the truth was hard. From the first wave in Jakarta to the fall of the eastern seaboard, we have reported every moment, even when it tore us apart. I've lost 3 coworkers tonight. We couldn't even open the door to carry their bodies out of the studio. I don't know if anyone out there can still hear us. The satellite uplink is degrading fast. I keep thinking I should have tried to get out while I had the chance, before the roads fell, before the airstrips burned, before the power grids blinked out like dying stars. But we stayed. We stayed for the truth. We stayed for you. And if you're still listening, if you're still out there, your life matters, not because someone told you it does, but because you're still choosing to breathe and think and resist. You are the resistance now. There is no cavalry. There is no rescue mission. You are what's left, and that makes you more important than any general or president. This is Daniel Hart, signing off. Stay alive, stay quiet, and don't open the door.
Day 3. The government of the United States went off the air at 19 minutes past 2 this morning. I heard the last of it on a battery radio, a vice president I did not vote for in a bunker telling the country to destroy the brain. And I thought, there, at the very end, someone has finally said the true sentence out loud, destroy the brain. It only took the fall of the Republic to get it past the press office. So that is the escalation from my one chair. 6 days ago, one man in Minneapolis. Tonight, no one is coming, and the man whose whole job was to send them is dead in a hole in Colorado, and I am sitting in a basement that smells of my own fear, still breathing, which increasingly strikes me as an oversight. I keep waiting to feel the thing I trained for, the activation, the part of the drill where the expert stands up and becomes useful. It is not coming. There is no expert's part in this act of the play. There is a man with a recorder and a great quantity of knowledge that has quietly expired like a drug left on a shelf, still labeled, no longer any good to anyone. And yet, I am going to keep making these. I decided it tonight, formally, the way I used to decide things that mattered. Not to save anyone. I am well past pretending that. But a record is the one thing a scientist can still make after the science is finished. And somewhere in me, the animal that files reports is the last part of me still standing. I would rather go down filing than screaming. Dr. Thomas Doyle. The lights went out for good about an hour ago. So I am going to keep talking here in the dark. It seems to be going around.
This is an automated message from the emergency alert system. This broadcast is operating on automated relay. This is not a test. The following advisory was last updated at 0200 hours. Authorized personnel are no longer confirming updates to this broadcast. The advisory will continue on automated cycle. A viral agent, designated viral neurodegenerative pathogen 1, remains active in all regions. Affected persons can be stopped only by trauma to the head. There is no known treatment. There is no known cure. Remain indoors. Emergency personnel are being coordinated in your area. Await assistance. Do not travel. If you are sheltering in place, maintain your shelter. Conserve water. Conserve power. Ration your food supply. Assistance is being coordinated. Should you require immediate assistance, contact your local emergency line. If your local emergency line does not respond, contact your regional coordination center. If your regional coordination center does not respond, remain indoors and await further instruction. Report the location of the deceased to your regional coordination center. Do not attempt to move the deceased. Do not attempt to bury the deceased. Collection teams will be dispatched. This advisory will now repeat. The advisory will continue to repeat until it is updated by authorized personnel. This is an automated message from the emergency alert system.
don't even know if anyone's still listening. If this gets out, if it makes it to someone, just know I tried. I tried to warn people. I tried to make sense of it, but you can't make sense of the end of the world. I'm sitting in what used to be a ranger station up in the San Juan Mountains. Solar panels barely work. Water's freezing. The silence out here is different. It's not peaceful. It's empty. I haven't seen another person in days. No movement on the ridge. No voices. And the occasional scream in the distance. You hear that and you remember real quick, it's still out there. Whatever it is, I don't know if we'll ever understand it. The science didn't matter in the end. The politics didn't matter. The tweets, the arguments, all that noise just vanished. And now we're left with what we always had. Fire, food, fear. I keep thinking about the guests I had on the show. The people who said the system would collapse. The ones who stockpiled and were called crazy. The ones who talked about resilience and prepping and living off the land. Turns out they were right. All of them. I don't know how much longer I'll last up here. Supplies are low. My leg's not healing right. And the nights are getting colder. But I'm not going down easy. Not like that. Not with my brain still in my skull. If you're hearing this, keep moving. Stay sharp. Don't trust anything that used to have a face. And whatever you do, don't get bit. This is John. Signing off. Maybe for the last time. Stay human.
You listen to me right now because I swear to you, they knew this was coming. I've been talking about viral warfare for 2 decades and now it's here and they're acting like it's a surprise. This wasn't some rogue flu, some freak mutation. This was planned. This was mapped. This was tested. You really think the same people who built bunkers under Denver didn't have a fail-safe for a pathogen like this? And let's talk about the Marburg Z variant. Oh, they love to name it like it's some natural evolution. It's not. That thing doesn't behave like anything in the wild. It's precise, surgical, controlled. You think it's a coincidence it shuts off empathy, higher reasoning, all the things that make us human? That's not a virus. That's a weapon, engineered to erase civilization one screaming mouth at a time. And let me tell you something else. The so-called collapse, that didn't start with the virus. It started when the globalists shut down your ability to question anything. They locked down the internet, throttled signals, jammed satellites, all under the guise of containing panic. You ever try getting access to raw field data from Jakarta, from Warsaw, from Cleveland? You won't. They buried it. You think the CDC going dark was an accident? You think Vice President Cross's transmission was some heartfelt goodbye? Wake up. They're gone because they got what they needed. They went underground. They took their families, their security teams, their 5-year stashes, and they disappeared. And you're up here with the walking corpses and no food on the shelves. You're being left behind like trash, like test material. I told you this would happen when they started mapping the human genome for medical reasons, but no, you called me a lunatic. I told you when they started militarizing CRISPR tech and building gain-of-function labs in countries with no oversight, but you kept watching your sitcoms. Now look around. Your neighbors are eating each other in the street. Your phones are dying. Your government hasn't spoken in days. And the only thing left between you and the infected is how fast you can run and whether your ammo's dry. Let me ask you something. Why do you think they didn't carpet bomb major cities when the outbreak started? Why do you think they didn't nuke the hot zones? Because they still need the data. They need to watch how we fall apart. Because we are the experiment. This is phase 2, collapse of infrastructure, elimination of the population centers, full asset wipe. When the food's gone and the screaming stops, then they'll rise up again, clean, protected, and in control of whatever's left. I've seen the documents. I've tracked the patents. This was a long game, and we were the pawns. They didn't just create the apocalypse, They orchestrated it. They marketed it. They beta tested it in silence. And don't talk to me about the safe zone in Alaska. That's bait. That's a funnel point. You think they'll let survivors in after everything? You'll walk into those snowy gates and disappear like the rest. No. The only thing left to do is resist, survive, and remember. Remember who did this. Remember what they took. Remember that they're still out there watching. This is not about survival anymore. This is about legacy. You teach your kids what really happened. You etch it into stone if you have to. Because someday, we take it back. But not if we stay blind. Not if we keep obeying. And not if we keep waiting for the same people who burned the world to come save us from the ashes. Lock and load. Stay awake. And never, never forget who the real monsters are.
It's been about 3 weeks. Near as I can keep track anymore. I'm running this off a car battery and a solar panel the size of a dinner plate, so I have to be quick tonight, and then I have to be quicker. I got bit last night moving the antenna up to a higher roof. One of them was already up there in the dark, and it had my arm before I understood it was a thing and not a shadow. So, that's that. You remember the medic who called in weeks back? He said an hour, maybe less. I've already burned a good piece of that hour just working up the nerve to sit down at this microphone. So let me do the one useful thing while my hands still do what I tell them. I've wired the board to run itself. Any call that comes in now, any message a body leaves, the machine plays it out over the air on its own, whether I'm here or not, and it'll keep on doing that until the battery quits or until one of them finds the door. Whichever comes first. I did it because I couldn't stand the notion of this frequency going to dead air. Somebody out there is still turning the dial in the dark, hunting for a human sound. And for a while yet, they'll find one. It won't be me, but it'll be somebody that'll have to do. I don't have a big speech left in me. 30 years on the overnight, and it turns out you run out of words same as you run out of everything else. This is Carl, the overnight. Last time from these hands. After this, it's just the machine and whoever still calls. Thank you for staying up with me all these years. I'm gonna go sit by the door now.
Okay. Is it recording? It's Faye. I called you before. The bathroom. Carl. It's in the apartment. It came up the stairs. The hamper's not gonna hold. It's pushing. The door's coming off the... There's a hand. There's a hand under the door. Please, somebody, please.
You told me you didn't want to say the word. Well, I got the word for you now. Bit. On the leg a couple hours back. I can feel it climbing up me warm, and my mouth won't quit watering. I know what that means. You were right to be scared to say it out loud. I'm gonna hang up now. Before there's something on this line you shouldn't have to hear. Tell my boy his dad wasn't scared, even though
It's the fellow that filled these tubs. Turns out all the water in the world don't matter when they come through the wall. I had it all, Carl. The food, the guns, the plan. But there's no number of them a man can plan against. They're in the kitchen now. I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of the after, of what I'll be. So I got one round left, and I aim to use it right, up high, on my...
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. There on the porch, Carl. I put the boy under the bed and told him be a little mouse. He leadeth me beside the still. If you're taking him tonight, Lord, take him gentle. Take him before he feels it. The window. Something's at the...
It's the guy in the truck, Gil. I stopped. I ran out of road and I stopped, and I shouldn't have. They're on the hood. The glass is starting to give, all of them pushing at once. I can hear my sister out there. No, that's not her. I know that's not her, but it sounds just like...
It's Roy. Dubuque. It got in the house. I got Katie up in the crawl space, and I'm down here keeping my voice low, so it comes to me and not up to her. Baby, don't you come down. Whatever you hear down here, you don't come down. It's across the room now. I love you, Katie Bug. You be a big girl and you stay quiet and you don't...
Hank, the medic that called you a while back. I lasted longer than I figured I would. One got me at a gas station this morning, of all the stupid places. I've got a few minutes before it turns me, so I walked out to a field where I can't do harm to anybody. And I'm not scared, which surprises me. I just didn't want to do the last part in a room with nobody in it. Somebody's machine is playing this back. That's close enough to company. All right then, here it comes.
Hello? Is this a real station? There's a voice on here. I've been turning the dial for days, and there's finally a... Hello? Please, is anybody actually there? Is anybody still...
It doesn't matter anymore. 847 days since patient zero. My name is Thomas Doyle, former head of the CDC's Infectious Disease Division. If anyone finds this recording, you need to understand something about what happened to our world. This wasn't some freak accident. This wasn't divine punishment or alien intervention. This was mathematics, pure, inevitable mathematics. You see, we've been dancing on the edge of this for decades. Every pandemic expert, every epidemiologist worth their degree knew it was coming. Not zombies specifically. We called it Disease X in our models. The unknown pathogen that would change everything. Look at the numbers we ignored. Global population density increased by 300% in urban centers over the past 50 years. International travel routes grew every single year. We had 100,000 flights crossing continents daily. A pathogen could circle the globe in 18 hours, faster than any quarantine plan we ever wrote. But it wasn't just the logistics. It was us. Human nature itself made this inevitable. The Marburg Z variant, that's what we called it in the early days, it exploited every weakness in our social fabric. Our tribalism, our conspiracy theories, our inability to trust institutions. When the first cases appeared in Jakarta, half the world called it fake news. When it reached Europe, they blamed immigrants. When it hit American shores, we were too busy arguing about treatment plans to actually follow them. I remember the emergency session at the WHO. 300 of the world's brightest minds in one room, and we couldn't agree on basic terminology. While we debated whether to call them infected or transformed, the reproduction rate hit 15.7. Do you know what that means? For every infected person, 15 others would follow. Exponential growth doesn't wait for committee decisions. The biological side was elegant in its simplicity. The pathogen attacked the prefrontal cortex while leaving the brainstem intact. Higher cognitive functions died, but basic motor skills and aggressive responses remained. It was like someone engineered the perfect apocalypse virus, except no one engineered it. Evolution did. Millions of years of trial and error, and it finally found the perfect key to unlock our extinction. But here's what haunts me most. We had the knowledge to prevent this, not the outbreak itself. That was always possible. But the collapse, the complete breakdown of civilization, that was preventable. We had plans, Operation Dark Winter, the Global Health Security Agenda, pandemic preparedness frameworks that cost billions to develop, but they all assumed rational actors. They assumed people would follow quarantine orders, that governments would share information, that fear wouldn't override logic. We never planned for the real enemy, ourselves. Panic buying wrecked the supply chains before the virus could. Conspiracy theories and finger-pointing collapsed our governments before the infected ever reached the capital. And neighbor turning against neighbor, that was just Tuesday in America 2025. I've spent the last 2 years analyzing transmission patterns, studying the breakdown, mapping the cascade failures. Every single step was predictable, every single one. Homo sapiens, wise man, undone not by superior predators or cosmic catastrophe, but by our own cognitive limitations. We evolved to handle threats we could see, fight, or flee from. We never evolved to handle exponential growth or collective action problems. I want to be angry. I want to rage against the politicians who downplayed the threat, the media that sensationalized everything except the science, the people who refused to believe until it was too late. But anger requires the illusion that things could have been different, and maybe they couldn't have been. This is the last entry. The generators are failing, and my supplies are nearly gone. Tomorrow, I'll join the few survivors trying to reach the rumored safe zone in Alaska, not because I believe it exists, but because the alternative is accepting the inevitable right here. I've packed what I can carry. Data drives, a half-empty water filter, one final vial of antivirals that won't make a difference. There's frost on the inside of the walls now. The wind sounds different. The screams have stopped. If humanity somehow survives this, remember, we didn't fail because we weren't smart enough. We failed because we were exactly smart enough to build global civilization, but not wise enough to manage it. Smart enough to unlock nature's secrets, but not humble enough to respect them. We thought the rules didn't apply to us. We treated science like opinion and truth like a commodity. We were warned over and over again, and still we walked right into it. And I was part of it. The mathematics were always there. We just chose not to see them. This is Dr. Thomas Doyle. Final entry, signing off.